Hello, friends. I hope you are all doing well. And we are starting a new series, SQL, Learn SQL Easily. So this series is for mainly students who are coming from non-IT background. They want to shift their career to IT. Okay. So for those students, I'm making this videos, especially how to learn SQL very easily. So if you are from non-IT background, the basic SQL knowledge is mandatory uh, to start your career in IT. If you are enter into any role, like if you are working, like if you want to shift in Java or full stack development or ETL side or data science side. Okay, so whatever the technology may be, even if you're working on Pega. So one of my team member, he works for Pega front end screens. So I'll be supporting at the back end ETL part. So if he has any questions related to SQL, you will always reach out to me. The problem is he's not that much mastered at SQL. Okay, so this series is especially useful for you to learn SQL in a simplified manner. Okay, so here in this Google Drive, I have given a video. So that is a recorded video of my friend and how to install that SQL Server. Okay, so Microsoft SQL Server for 2019 version on Windows 10 environment. And please follow the installation guides, installation steps and guidance from this video. And you can install the SQL by your own. Okay, so now let's move to the actual content. So what is SQL stands for? Okay, so what is SQL stands for? SQL is a standard language for restoring, manipulating, and retrieving the data in database. Okay, so we'll be having databases, right? So we'll be having different databases like Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, okay, and Informix, Netezza, Sybase, okay, MongoDB. So we have various SQLs, okay. So out of this, best easy way to download and install is Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so it's very simplified manner. So here I have installed the SQL Server. So let me open from the first onwards. Okay, so this I have choose as a taskbar. Okay, now click on this to open SQL Server. Okay, so once we SQL Server, meantime it's go open means. So friends, if you're watching my channel for the very first time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon. Whenever I upload a video, you will get a notification on your smartphone. So I'll be posting the content related to SQL, DataStage, and DataStage real-time interview scenarios, problem solvers. Nowadays, most of the interviews they're asking scenarios, how we can handle with these scenarios. I'll be helping the students to how we can crack the interviews easily, how we can get a job easily on DataStage side. Okay. So now what is the SQL stands for? That we have discussed. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, so SQL is a standard language for storing. We'll be storing the data, manipulating the data, and retrieving the data in databases. If you go back almost 40 years, okay, so in those days, the data storage in a form of notebooks, tags, files, and all. Okay, so we'll be maintaining the files, data, and all. Okay, so now the world is started shifting into digitalization step by step. Like initial modern generation computers came, then they had come up with database. So the structured query language. Okay, so it's mainly SQL is mainly useful to access the data in the database, and SQL has become a standard of American National Standard Institute, ANSI, in 1986, and the International Organization of Standardization of ISO ISO in 1987. Okay, so here standard of SQL, it has become like American National Standards Institute, and C will be calling us in 1986, and the International Organization of for Standards, ISO standards, in 1987. Okay, so now let's discuss in-depth manner what is SQL, and we have discussed that, and what SQL can do. What are the problems that SQL can useful? Okay, so it can execute the queries against the databases. So here, end of the day, for every transaction, so for the day-to-day business operations, so we'll be storing the data in a database. If you go to any retail outlets, shopping malls, so there you can see billing counters. Okay, so how many of you have noticed that? So those applications are mainly designed for to run the business, and whatever the transactions they perform, like if you purchase few products and they scan all your products and they will give the invoice to you. You have to pay the bill and come out from the store. Okay, so but the data is stored in somewhere. Where the data is stored? The data is stored in database. Okay, so how this SQL will help us? SQL can retrieve the data from the database. Okay, so we can execute the queries against the database, we can retrieve the data from the database, and we can insert the data. So when the transaction happening, a new records will be inserted with your name and what are the products you purchased. And if you want to update the data in a database, we can update the data in a database, and we can delete the data also. Okay, so there are some syntax for updating, deleting, and insert. So we have to follow this as respect to database mandate syntaxes. And we can delete the records from the database. We can create a new database. For example, I want to create a new database. What is the syntax to create a new database? Create. Okay, so here here you need to make sure you need to choose your database. Okay, so here I have created a database as JCDB. So go to database. So this is my database. Okay, so here create database. Okay, so just JC. I can give name as GSSY DB1. Okay, so now I will execute this here. Okay, so here the syntax is successfully executed. So now I have created a database. Now if I refresh this, let me refresh this. So if you refresh this, you can see it's okay. So no database has been created. Okay, so if you want to drop this database, drop database name. Okay, so let's drop that. So since already I have created the JC_DB, let's use that. Okay, now execute this. Now let's refresh this. So SQL is very simple, friends. Okay, so here there is no much complexity, but you have to learn in an order way. So I'm uploading the videos. I'll be uploading the videos. Okay, so just you need to follow the order of learning SQL. Okay, what to learn first, what to learn next. Okay, now let's. So we have created a database and we have drawn the database also. Okay, so drop is to drop the database. Okay, now let's create a schema. Okay, so here we have a schema. So JC is the schema. Okay, so now I want to create a schema where I can create a schema. Create in the same database. In the database, we have to create a schema. Schema is a sub object separating specific objects. So in a data warehousing project, there will be different phases of data. So initially, we'll be extracting data from source. We need to store in staging area, and we'll be creating intermediate storage purpose for work tables. And we have history data. So history data will be maintained. For each table, staging tables, one schema will be there. History data, to maintain the history data, one schema will be there. Work count, work tables. So we'll be creating work tables for internet data storage purpose. So work schema will be there. And the dimension table data, dimension schema. So dimension table where we will load the into actual main dimension tables and fact tables. Okay, and reporting, summary reporting. Okay, so here we'll be creating tables. Creating schemas with respect to tables. Okay, for views, we can create one separate schema. Okay, so only to maintain the views. So here I have created a one schema, that is Jesse. You can see this. So now I will create a new schema. Okay, so create schema Jesse one. Let's execute this. Okay, so now let's refresh this, guys. Go to tables. One second. Okay, so here. Okay, so now let's create a table. I think after creating table, it will be. So since we don't have any tables right here, so that might be the reason. Okay, let's create a table under the JC1 schema. Okay, now let's discuss. We can create a table. We can create a table in databases. Okay, we can store, we can create a procedures, stored procedures, how to create a stored procedure, how to create a functions. Those things we will discuss in upcoming classes. And create a view, how to create views for database. Okay, so SQL can be set up permissions on table. You can have control and authority. So we'll be having only select access. Okay, so these and all will be taken care by admin. Okay, so SQL can perform these kind of features. Okay, and most important SQL commands. What are the most important SQL commands? One is select. What is select? Select is nothing but extracting data from database. Okay, and update. Update the data in the database. Delete the data from the database. Okay, insert into. So here insert is to insert new data into database. Create database, creating a new database. So here we are creating a new database. So just now I have created one database, right? So that I have dropped off also. And alter database, we can modify the database. We can create a table, we can alter a table, we can drop a table, we can drop a database. Okay. So we can create indexes. So indexes if we create means then performance of the data that will store it in a buffer area. So whenever if you are extracting data from tables, so join keys in general will create indexes. So these indexes will help us to search keys, search particular values. Okay, and data will be stored in buffer area, so that data retrieval will be faster when you create indexes. Okay, so and the next one is we can drop the indexes. So these are the SQL commands. Okay, so these you have to remember, guys. Okay, so this is very easy, and these commands you can have to remember. Now let's work on how to create tables. Okay, so here I have a table, created a table like so let's see the syntax. So here create table, table name. Here I have given any form of Jesse in a schema. Jesse is a schema and student entries. Okay, so you already here the table exists. I think let's see here. Okay, okay. So let's see this. Let's go back. Okay, so here we have so already this Jesse table is there. Okay, so here I already have created. So to select the data, select star from the table name. Okay, Jesse dot students. Okay, okay. So this is for data that is available in this table. Okay, Right. So now let's create a new table. Okay. So here I will create a new table in the this is schema one. So here I have given null. Null means we can enter the null data. So let's insert not null. Okay. JC1 schema student one. Okay. And the student ID is not null. Name also should be not null. Okay. So we have to enter the name mandatory. Marks I have given null because in case student absent, right? In absent for the exam. So there might be chance that empty. Okay, NA not applicable. I mean null value we can enter. Let's create this table, guys. Okay, so table has been created successfully. Student one table under JC1. Okay, let's refresh the database. Okay, so here you can see, guys. Okay, so whenever table is created, then only the schema name will be reflected here. Okay, now let's insert the data. How to insert the data? Insert into. So this is the, we have to provide the table name along with the schema name. JC1 dot student one insert into, and here you have to provide the values. So values here, how you have created table, the similar way you have to insert. Okay. So here insert. Insert. Already this table is there, right? Let's insert the same data. Insert values. Okay, student one, comma. So whenever you are entering character, var, char, data types, you have to give in colons, both sides colons for string. Okay, semicolons. Okay, RAM. Okay, and marks is 300. Okay, now one record got inserted. Now let's see the second record. What is the second record? So here already I have inserted, right? Number 2. SUBB Subu, and marks is 200. Okay, let's insert this. So 2 records got inserted. Now let's select the data from this table what we have created. Okay, so select star from this table. Okay. Okay, so here how many records we have inserted? We have inserted 2 records. Okay, so now let's insert the third record. Let's see what is third record in already table is there, right? Which I created earlier, not now. Okay, so now let's insert the third record. So the same insert into table name. So third record is 3 and Ranga. Okay, marks is 250. Okay, now let's see this data. Now let's insert another record. Okay, so here to insert another record, let's if you want to insert the data only for specific columns, how to do that? Okay, so here I will try to insert only marks, marks, student number and marks. Okay, so student ID, comma marks. Okay, what happens? Let's see that. Okay, number 4, and I am not entering student name, and student has not wrote his name. Okay, not row display. So 260. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So here, it is showing as an invalid column name marks. Okay, so what is the actual column name? So it's a student marks. You have to enter that. So errors will come, right? So we have given the wrong column name. Okay, so you need to make sure. So here it won't occur any error now. See, now earlier some anything red mark is there means that syntax issue. Okay, so now let's try to insert this. So here you cannot insert null values into the student name. So here see guys, we have given not null. Not null means here I am trying to insert null data. So when you try to insert the null data, what happens? It is throwing a warning. You cannot insert the null values into the student name. Okay, so this is the issue. Okay, so now let's reinsert the data again. Okay, and student name, I will add student specific columns. Okay, inserting data for a specific columns. Now marks I will give null. Okay, let's include marks also. So in the next record we will see. Now let's see case name John. Okay, marks is 450. Okay. Okay. Now let's insert another record. So here I don't want to insert marks. Okay, so I will be inserting only 2 columns. So whenever it is null is defined, nulls are accepted means then okay. Okay, so here I will give number 5. Jaffa. Okay, so Jaffa has not attempted the exam. He got nil marks. Okay. Okay. Now let's check the data here. This is the table, right? Select star from that table. So retrieve the data. See here, null is accepted. So have null is accepted. Why? Marks I have given null value. Null means there is a possibility that student can unable to attempt the exam. So in that scenario, right? So it will be considered as null data. Okay. Right. So here now we have created the table in which schema, in this JC1 schema, and student 1 is the table name. Okay. So now let's okay. So we have extracted the data from the database. Okay. So now I'm stopping it for today's session, and you have to do the installation. After watching this video, your job is to watch the installation. So watch the installation steps video, and you can watch this recording. And here I have provided the installation guidance, right? Install this by using install. By downloading this, it's a free access. I will provide the link in the description box. Okay, so watch this. Okay, and install this. Install the Microsoft SQL Server. It's very easily and user-friendly tool also. And this is the presentation. I will be updating this presentation document. Okay, so once it is finally ready, then you can download. And if you want to see, so this is everyone can access this link in this Google Drive. Okay, so this document is available here. I will be updating all the SQL content in the form of presentation. Okay, so now before closing the class, let's drop this table. What is the table? Student 1, whatever we created now. Okay, so since already we have JC schema is there, right? Let's use that. Okay, so drop table This one, let's drop this. Okay. So normally these brackets will come in as Microsoft SQL Server. That is okay. Drop this. So table has been dropped. Okay. So now, so we will restore this table again. Or how we can restore this table? Create table. Select star from another schema. We have created another table, right? Copy this and paste it here. Okay. Create table name. Yes. Okay. So instead of create, select star from select star from select star from okay. So now let's the same schema will be already we have create statement, right? Let's use the create statement. Okay. So the table has been created. Okay. So now let's insert the data. Okay. So there is a syntax how we can copy the create the table from the existing table. In the next session, I will share that information. So now how to insert the table from the existing table. Okay. Insert into this table. Select star from this table. Okay. Now data got inserted. Okay. Now let's commit the data. So commit is for begin transaction. Begin transaction. Begin transaction. Begin transaction. Begin transaction. Here. Yes, see. Say CN answer. Okay. Begin transaction. Commit. We have to enter the commit so that data will be stored permanently in the database. Okay. So this is the syntax. Execute this. Okay. Now data has been stored successfully. So now what we can do is we can drop this schema we have created in today's session. So next class onwards, you'll use this Jesse schema. Okay. Drop table. This one. Okay. So before dropping, let's check the data here. So table has been created. Okay. So drop table, this one. Okay. So drop schema, Jesse one. Okay. Okay. Now let's refresh this. can check in the tables. Okay, so we have only one table. Okay, so that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. So please do the assignment. So assignment, what we need to do is you need to download this Microsoft SQL Server in your personal laptop. You have to download and follow the material whatever I have uploaded here. Okay, so we have discussed what and all we have discussed. Please go through the content. So see you in the next class. Thank you. Have a great day.